everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Jersey Comic Crew, your favorite podcast for all things comic books, pop culture, videos, movies, TV shows, and Comic-Cons this week.
That's right.
And as always, I'm Chris Heller. With me is...
Rob Moran. It's going to be a great episode, I hope.
It is, yeah. So today we're going to run through everything that we just went through last week at Boston Comic-Con. I was there, Rob was not, so it's a good time I could fill Rob in. We love talking about Comic-Cons because we love the medium, and Comic-Con is also a great time to get, especially you guys who maybe haven't gone to a Comic-Con, or if you only go to stuff that's near you, or, you know, depending on if you could get out of the tri-state area or wherever you live. We always like to do kind of like a mini Comic-Con recap to get you to kind of like get the experience through our eyes, and maybe, hey, this might be something I want to check out next year.
Exactly. So the whole point of this, and this is a series that we're going to start doing, is like the Comic-Con recap or whatever we decide to name it. So you see the con that we went to, the things that like either me and Chris or both of us or neither of us have gotten there, like cool little treasures, conversations that we get to have, and you know, these experiences that you could be a part of.
Yeah.
So Fan Expo, Boston Comic Con 2019.
Yeah.
Didn't get to go this year.
Yeah.
You went.
I did.
How did you like it? What did you do? What did you buy? What did you see? Any news?
Yeah, saw a lot, did a lot. Good and bad.
Which is very descriptive.
Very descriptive,
Saw a lot,
yes.
did a lot. Okay.
Saw a lot, did a lot. All right, see you next week.
Oh, wait. Because I know you're not going to bring this up during your discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
What was the favorite cosplay that you saw?
That's a good question.
We should start doing that, and you should take a picture when you see them, but I understand.
There was one, oh shit. There's a couple that were really good. There was one guy who was Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay. Awesome.
But it wasn't like, it was just him, like he made the entire suit, so his arms looked like, kind of like Top from Dragon Ball Super. Like, he had the extended arms, and he had the full mask. Like, it looked like
he was a big guy.
It was legit, yeah. He was, like, taking up the room, and he was walking like this.
That's cool.
That was pretty insane.
Right.
The guys who do those full robotic suits were there.
Always.
So, Bumblebee and Hulkbuster were there. But as far as, like, just personal cosplay, there was a really good Aquaman and Mira who kind of looked just like them, and they were also too attractive to, like, it was kind of not fair how attractive they were.
So you did see me there.
So Rob was there. So they were really good. And he had like the Momoa kind of Aquaman hair and like the tats. So they were really good. But I really liked the Wreck-It Ralph. And there was a couple really good Power Rangers ones too.
Good.
Good Tommy. Lord Drakon from the comic series was really cool. Someone did that.
All right.
So yeah, pretty impressive.
All right. So
yeah. So
I know you have he has a little show and tell over there.
Oh, I do have some stuff, yeah, from the con. So yeah, Friday through Sunday, it's a 3-day con.
Okay.
It's kind of one of the more expensive cons that are, especially in the East Coast. It's $90 for the weekend, which, I mean, compared to New York is nothing.
Yeah.
But most shows are range between like $60 and $75.
Okay.
So it's a little more expensive. Last year, I thought the lineup was way better. Of Artists Alley.
Comic artists,
yes.
Comic writers, and like celebrity guests and stuff?
100%.
Okay.
They did have still a nice wide array of artists, celebrities. This year they did like a Goonies reunion, so all the Goonies were there. They did Boy Meets World, so everyone from Boy Meets World was there.
I saw a picture of that.
John Travolta was there for a day.
You know he's bald now with the beard?
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to be Lex Luthor?
I don't think so.
He looks like it.
No bad.
He looks a little cranky.
Oh, well, he's older. I mean, he still kind of looks the same though. He's like cranky, but he's still got like skinny long legs and like he's kind of like top heavy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was there for a day. Stephen Amell was there. Saw him. Very, very good looking. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting.
Well, he works out 13 hours a day.
Awesome. So
I only work out like 9. If I added the 4 more, and I would look
more hours
just like him.
But yeah, so like Artist Alley was good. Dan Slott was there. Guys like, you know, current guys, Dan Slott, David Finch, Greg Capullo, you know, a bunch of artists. Great Artist Alley if you want to get a sketch. That's a really good spot to do it. I got a couple Scott Hannas, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, everybody at these cons, like these writers and artists that you see in these books, everybody's like, oh, I'm afraid to approach them, ask them questions. But every time we go, and I mean, you've gone like religiously since you were like -3.
Yeah.
But like,
oh, that's impressive.
Your mom in the womb was like, hey,
I got a nerd here, please.
Yeah, just talk to him real quick. No, but they're open to talk to people and like teach them about characters, which is always cool. So if like you want to know more about Spider-Man, you know somebody wrote Spider-Man, you go up to them and talk to them.
Yeah, or like, you know, if you really like a writer, you could ask what they're, you know, they'll give you hints of what they're doing next or certain polls that,
Like what
based
kind
on
of
stuff
food
they
they're getting
love.
at the food court.
Yeah, like
now after this, I'm gonna go get Taco Bell.
yeah, like they'll tell you like hints of like the storylines they're working on, or they'll tell you, or especially with artists, like, oh, I was doing this, I'm doing my own independent, but I'll be back, and kind of give you a hint of maybe what they're working with, like DC or Marvel, stuff like that. So that was cool. I know Rob wants to really see the books. So one of the things I like doing, especially with Comic-Cons, like what draws me to Comic-Cons is if there are people there I haven't seen yet. If there's people there I've seen,
people you mean like writers and artists?
Yeah, like writers and artists.
Okay.
Like Artist Alley people. So if I've seen them a lot, chances are I've gotten a good amount of stuff signed from them. I may not need to go see them because I've seen them and gotten stuff signed, and it may just be to like say hello and see if I can get an interview for the show.
Yeah.
Depending on how their line is, if it's ridiculous. But I love seeing people I've never seen before. So like guys like Clayton Crane were there, who's a great cover artist, does a lot of Marvel stuff. And who else did I see that wasn't? Like Todd McFarlane, who I've seen in New York, was there one day. That's convoluted. I'll get to that. But yeah, so I brought a little stack of stuff.
So we're gonna upload pictures so you can see them for here, but you're just gonna pass me them.
Yeah, so Rob can see. So
I'm so excited.
One thing I've been really getting into way more than just signings is commissions, which is to me even a better way to get contact to people, talk to people more. Especially if you come back to them and see their prices, depending if it's reasonable or not. So when Detective Comics 1000 came out, they had 2 blank covers, and I picked up the black blank, which I'm sure you guys can see. Ooh, as I pass it by. Which is really cool.
I like it. Pitch black.
Yeah, and depending on if you want to sketch or something like that, Comic-Con is the best place to do it. I like to think of ideas ahead of time and go to someone and be like, hey, I've been thinking about this. Is there something you could do that kind of like goes with what I was thinking?
Yeah.
And then like go nuts, like do whatever you want. So that's cool. So I picked up that at Clayton Crane's booth, had it, Scorpion Comics, which they have a lot of like exclusive stuff, which is cool.
Okay.
This is when I was talking to Rob about. He really likes it. So there's a company who does blank covers, again, doing commission stuff. They take the original...
You know the company's name?
I forget, but I have the card.
We'll put up a picture.
We'll put up a picture of it. So they have these blank covers that have the original trade dresses of comics from the 60s, like Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby.
That's dope.
And this one's X-Men #1. And not only is it a blank cover, it's also a reprint on the inside of the original book.
Oh,
so I technically have an X-Men #1, just not a first printing.
Yeah. And like you get your own...
Yeah, and you could get your commission drawing on there, whatever you want, but it has that... Like, when it comes to blanks, I'm huge on the trade dresses.
Because it makes sense.
It makes sense. So
How much
I thought
was
that was
this?
cool. This was like, I think it was like $10-15, something like that. And they did like you buy 2 get 1 free type deal.
I like it because you not only do you get the original first appearance, like a reprint version, but you have a blank. So one, you can keep it like that, or 2,
get your own cover.
You get your own cover done.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome to frame too once it gets done.
Yeah,
and they're doing more. They have like a New Mutants '98, like first Deadpool one like that. They're making an Amazing Fantasy 15 one for first Spider-Man. They're doing a first Hulk, Incredible Hulk one. So they're starting to redo these and do these a lot. So that I thought was really unique and cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll pick one of these up. So then, yeah, like I said, Boy Meets World was there. I'm sure you probably saw on our Instagram too. I've been talking to an artist friend of mine who's in Jersey named Nick Justice. And Nick does amazing recreations of the animated series style of artwork.
Yes.
So like Batman, the animated series,
You
Superman,
posted
Justice
out a while ago,
League.
I remember.
Yep, and Erica got a Batgirl done like a while ago. So he also does these really cool things where he'll go like get stuff signed and then draw images around that and leave the signature there and make it like a part of the background in like a really cool, unique way. So I was talking to him about like pricing over Instagram and we were DMing each other. So I had a Batman Beyond blank. So I went to Will Friedle and he signed my book. So then Nick Justice is going to draw me I Am Batman, Will Friedle.
Oh, cool.
And then he's going to draw a nice little cover for me around that signature. Which is a funny story. So I met Will on Saturday.
By the way, Will Friedle is Eric from Boy Meets World.
Eric from Boy Meets World, and he's Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond. Yep. So went up to him, the nicest guy on the planet. One of my best like celebrity experiences, which I don't do a lot of celebrity stuff. His handler was really cool. Like while we were waiting, so like it was me, my girlfriend Erica, and my buddy Justin came with me to the con that day because he was getting a sketch from Scott Hanna too. He got a Dr. Doom, really cool.
Oh, cool.
So we were all there, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go see Will Friedle. I got, like, my buddy Nick Justice is going to do a commission for me, but I got to get the book signed by Will first. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I'll meet him, blah, blah. So, like, we go up. Like, it wasn't, like, some celebrities you go up to, and the handler's like, oh, are you all, like, paying, blah, blah, blah. They're just like, what are you getting done? Like, how much? Like, totally nice. He was like $40.
Dope. Oh,
handed her the $40. She was, like, really nice. She's like, hey, how you liking the con? Where are you guys from? Like, while we're waiting, while he's talking to the person in front of us. So we were chatting. I was like, I do a podcast in Jersey, so, like, I'm at a bunch of cons all the time, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, that's so cool. Blah, blah. Gave her the card.
Cool.
So Will comes up to us, comes around the table, says hi to us, shakes all of our hand. He looks at me, he goes, do I know you? I was like, no, I don't think so. I know you from TV.
I know you from TV.
I know you from the television. And he goes, hey, I'm Will. And I'm like, I know. So I'm like, that's why I'm here. So he's like, yeah, I feel like I met you before. And I was like, in your dreams, maybe? I don't know. Like,
no, Paris Chris, in your dreams.
In my dreams. But, like, totally nice guy. Don't peek.
I'm trying not to.
So he meets us. He's like showing me the cover, and I was like, my buddy Nick is gonna do a really nice piece of artwork of Batman Beyond. He's really good at the animated style of art. I was like, would you mind signing it on the bottom, because he makes the signature, like, he colors around it so it's in there, but he doesn't, like, mess with it, so it makes sure it's still there. He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. He's like, what color do you want me to sign? Where do you want me to sign it? Just show me, blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
So we're talking, and I'm like, hey, so I was like, I know your buddy Kevin Conroy is in the CW crossover. I was like, any chance we might see Terry McGinnis show up?
Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
Batman Beyond and that?
Would be fucking awesome.
What did he say?
And he said, I haven't heard anything yet. He goes at the same time, he goes, I doubt they want a 43-year-old Terry McGinnis wheezing getting into a suit. So he was just making fun of himself. He doesn't look 43, man. He's like, he looks the same. He just has, like, you know, kind of like 5 o'clock shadow, very handsome, like, good looking dude, man. But he was really cool. Again, like, Boy Meets World, me and Rob's generation, if you were born in the 90s, grew up with that show, literally.
I think anybody knows that show. Loves it.
So he was Eric, and it was cool because, like, Ben Savage was right next to him, and he just trolls Ben Savage. I started following on our Instagram. You got to check it out. It's really funny. Like, he just makes fun of Ben all the time.
Really?
Yeah, like on the plane, he makes fun of him. They're taking pictures. He ruins pictures with them. It's, like, really funny.
That's awesome. That's
so
like he's a legit big brother.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So it was like him, Ryder Strong, Topanga was there. Gorgeous.
Topanga.
And Mr. Feeney was there, too.
Feeney
was there. Yep, he was there.
Did you make him do the Feeney?
No,
Did you hear him do a Feeney?
I didn't. He was a couple tables away, but I did get to. I glanced at him.
I would have met Feeney.
Feeney's cool, man. I love it. Hello, Mr. Matthews. So, like, it was cool, man. We met him, and it was one of the best celebrity experiences. He was talking to us about the CW crossover and Terry, and, you know, I asked him, I was like, well, what if they did, like, something for DC Universe, like, new Batman Beyond show or something? He was like, oh, I'd totally be down, which I think would be amazing.
Yeah.
And we know he does some voiceover.
He does a lot of work.
He does a lot of voiceover stuff now. So that was really cool. Yeah. So, like, I also brought one of these. I'm actually gonna do this one first. So Clayton Crane, which I was talking about earlier, he does his own, like, style of cover art. It's really cool. It's kind of like painted mixed with, like, uber line detail sketch. Okay. I went to ask him about commissions. He literally was like, well, because, you know, he's like high-end cover artist. He's like, well, you know, I usually start out like for like a head this big, $200. $200 for like an 1.5-inch head. And I was like, oh, he goes, yeah, it goes up from there. I'm like, good to know. I'm like, thank you. So
I
bought
Alex Ross, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's insane. So I bought another cover from him because he does this thing called an infinity signature.
Okay.
And
what is that?
So basically what he does, I saw him do it. This guy had like 11 like Thanos covers he did. He holds like 6 markers in his hand. And they're the color of the Infinity Stones. And he like signs it a portion of his name and flips it. And he does it in like 5 seconds. And he signs his whole name in the colors of the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's
and he
cool.
charges $5 for it, but he had me hook, line, and sinker. I was like, I had to get something. So I got
show the camera.
I got a Silver Surfer black cover with an Infinity signature. Let's see if we could get it there. It's hard to see, but It's on the bottom. And he signed it in every color, and it was just the sickest thing.
Oh, wow.
It was so freaking cool. I was like, we have to get this. Like, it's the most unique signature I've ever seen. And he does it like, and like, for me, if I did it like, half of it would be up here, like Bart down here. He was just like, really quick, like, does it really easily.
That's dope.
It was so cool. So I got that done.
That is dope.
Just a great cover too in Silver Surfer.
It is.
Donnie Cates' book, so I'll have Donnie sign that. Great book. So like then did see Capullo. So of course had to get him to sign to yes. Rob's older Rob's older brother. He put the glasses on. Hey brother, what's going on?
Hey brother. Play some guitar.
If you just shaved your head, you would be
metal.
You should do a bald cap for Halloween and just be Greg Capullo and walk around with like Batman like sketches and shit.
I might.
You should. That'd be awesome.
Next time I see him, I'll be like, "Hey, who's really
Greg?" You should
Greg?
cosplay as him at Comic-Con. He would love it.
That'd be good.
He would love it. Again, nicest guy on the planet. Also saw him at the DC booth, so he signed a bunch of stuff for us. Really cool guy. Like recognizes. He's like, "Thanks for coming back, guys. Thanks for coming out." He was exhausted too because he's working with Todd McFarlane right now for Spawn 300. That's the big, like, huge Spawn issue coming out in September. And he's doing interiors as well as he's drawing and Todd's inking his stuff.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
A lot of work. So he was exhausted. I went up to him, I was like, listen, thanks for being here. I know you're probably exhausted from the work. He's like, dude, he goes, I love it. He goes, this is my break. This is the fun part. He goes, like, I tell everyone, he looks around because he's like, I'm like a dog sniffing ass, man. It's like, it's great. I get to sign and talk to you guys. And his handler starts laughing and I'm dying. I'm like, well, if I knew it was that kind of signing, I would have wore extra underwear. Like, and he's like laughing. So his wife is there. It's like, Jesus, Greg. Like he just says whatever he fucking wants. So he's the nicest guy. I definitely had him sign his cover of Batman Who Laughs, which I love that it's silver and in between the head.
I love this cover.
Just a special
more than
book.
I love the book.
I love the cover. I like the book. I love the cover. I like the book though.
The book was I
thought it was pretty good. But it's opening up for Batman Superman. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's all it is.
So yeah, last but not least, my first day was actually my best day. And I'll get to why right after this and we'll wrap this up. But yeah, so my first day was like basically the way I do Comic-Con, and if you see me and Rob at Comic-Con, you can kind of tell what we're doing. So Friday's kind of like my scope out day. Right, we figure out where everyone is. We, go to the little signings of people we may like or may not want to interview at the same time, and just kind of get that stuff done if it's free or like really easy money. Then we kind of scope out the big names, get some stuff signed, start the conversation. Saturday is like my day where I come back and I'm either like, hey, do you have some time for me between your panels? Do you have some time for me on Sunday? Then you start like setting up interview time. So like Friday came in, like Pete Tomasi was there. I was like, hey, you got some time for me? He was like, hey, Chris, like, he kind of knows me now, which is fucking cool. He was like,
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. I was asking him how Terrific Con was, because I didn't make that one.
Was it terrific?
He said it was very good. Yeah, he enjoyed it.
He said very good or terrific?
He said very good. I was hoping he was going to say terrific. But
Pete, you're dropping the ball, man.
And also, terrific. So, like... Terrific. So we set up something for
That's
Sunday.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, kept going through my day, kept meeting different people. Dan Slott, amazing. You know how Dan, the second you ask Dan a question, it's like a 20-minute conversation, which is always amazing. And yeah, it was good. So my first thing I did before that on Friday was like, all right, I got to go to Scott Hanna and get on his commission list, because I got a sketch done by him, which is on our Instagram a while ago of Spider-Man. It was like upside down with cool webbing. And I wanted him to finish it up. I wanted him to color it. And I also wanted a mirror image of Black Suit Spider-Man.
Okay.
With the same image, and kind of like they connect in the middle with the webs. He completely blew it out of the water. Not only did he do it, like he added, which I'll show you, he added the color and just the scope.
Oh, so this is the complete.
It's completed. It's finished.
I remember you showed me the first part.
The first part, but not only is that one colored, he did the black suit and colored it. And I was like, usually he charges for color, and I was like, how much for the color for the black suit? He's like, it's black suit. Like, don't even worry about it. It's basically inks. But he added color basically for free.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna show it to them. I'm gonna close my eyes.
Okay. I gotta make sure it's correct.
And then I'm gonna see it.
All right, so. Hold on. You gotta hold my mic though.
Why do I?
Because I have to talk. So basically, he connected it, and this is what it looks like. And now I'm just showing off like a douchebag. So now Rob can see it, and Rob can flip out because he's gonna steal it.
Do I put the mic down?
Yeah, I'll hold the mic. All right. So kind of just close your eyes and hold this one.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Hold it. Turn it like this in front of you.
All right.
And I'm gonna connect it.
All right. There we go.
Now open.
You bastard. This is freaking amazing.
Isn't it sick?
Oh my god. I can't believe you got me this for my birthday.
Is your birthday like another year away?
Yes, because today's my birthday. It's a year from now. You're very good at
Very good at math. Yeah, man.
Wow,
so like,
awesome.
I didn't even tell him about the purple. That was all him.
The purple.
I didn't tell him about the blue.
The blue.
That was how he shaded the black, which I thought was brilliant.
Oh my god! How much did you pay for all this?
$150.
There's freaking nothing.
Nothing. 2 books.
$2.
I can't wait to frame it.
You show them?
Oh yeah, you can show them again. Here.
I get that one.
You get the black one. And yeah.
Look at that.
So go to Comic-Con.
Oh my god.
Look at that. You could go to Comic-Con and get something like this. And look, it looks good. It looks good at any angle too. Like look, rotate it. Still looks cool. Still looks cool. Still looks cool.
Wait, put it back like that.
Still looks cool.
Oh.
But I love it.
All right.
Hands down.
Let's put it in a pile.
The coolest
my
thing
pile.
I've ever gotten. So that's
pile's over here. It is now mine.
I have claimed this as my own.
I'll lick my hand.
But it was awesome, and I even kept. He recognized me from like I was like, "Hey, you did this really cool Spidey sketch for me." I was like, "See, you gave me like the teacher's note to let me back in," and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Jersey, right?" I was like, "Yeah." I also got a picture with him where we're like holding the books, so we'll put that up on the Instagram for everyone to see. But that's the stuff that you really want to do for Comic-Con, like the memories, the
meeting of the minds,
So to wrap it up, I had about 3 or 4 interviews lined up for this show.
I know.
I killed Friday and Saturday, worked my ass off. Erica was great too. She hung in there with me all day. Told Will Friedle too about the show. I was like, hey, if you're ever in Jersey, I gave your handler a card. Like, we do a podcast. We'd love to talk. Yeah. You know, Batman, Boy Meets World, whatever.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, like, sure. He's like, whenever. Yeah. I'll let you, if I'm in a con, just come up to me. I was like, okay. Okay, Eric. So like
he's
that
the
was
man
cool.
in the field, guys.
He is. So we had Dan Slott lined up, Pete Tomasi lined up. There was a possibility I had Capullo lined up, and I had David Finch lined up. And so McFarlane was supposed to be there Saturday. Todd McFarlane, creator Spawn, Venom.
This is not a happy story.
It's not a happy story, but it's part of. But we still do this stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
So we basically lined everything up for Saturday. McFarlane canceled Saturday, moved it to Sunday, because he was basically locked in his like hotel room doing Spawn 300, doing his deadline.
Ink on his face, he's drawing.
Yeah,
everything.
he was working on the book.
I get it.
So Sunday comes around, and I had gotten a Spawn #1. And I had 2 other books. I had an Amazing Spider-Man book with the cover with the lizard on it, where he's like ripping the Spider-Man clothing, and an X Factor book with Cable and like Deadpool fighting each other.
Okay.
And I wanted him to sign those if it was possible. So he came Sunday. We got there when it opened. The line for his table was in his booth and covered the entire convention floor to the back. No one said anything, so I was like, I'm just going to stand here and see what happens. They moved us and corralled us into, like, you know, one of those big things. Guy starts handing out wristbands. Erica's like, you know what? I'm just going to go ask and see what's up, because I don't want to stand here and if we don't have to. I'm like, go for it. I'll stay here and hold our place.
Good.
She comes back. She's like, yeah, we're leaving.
Why?
And I'm like, what happened? She goes, the line's already capped. The wristbands that they gave out are only 100, and those are maybe if he has time.
Oh.
They didn't tell anybody.
Oh.
So Fan Expo dropped the ball with how big it was. Not only did they not tell us that, because he canceled from Saturday to Sunday, those panels and everything he had planned for Saturday got moved.
Oh.
So everyone's schedule was in flux based on just him.
Ooh.
So that means Dan Slott's schedule, Pete Tomasi, Finch, all those schedules got turned over back, like flipped. Therefore, after their panel, some guys had to get their, go back to the airport and get their flights and go home.
Yeah.
Or they just didn't have time. They had to do another signing, and they didn't have time to do a signing earlier, so they had to, meet that requirement of the signing.
Oh,
so
bro, that's
all
rough.
our shit fell through. It was a rough day. Sunday, the silver lining was David Finch did have a DC booth signing, which we didn't even know there was a DC booth there, which was awesome. And he did he signed a bunch of books for free for us and drew a sketch in Erica's book, which you saw earlier.
Yeah.
That gorgeous Wonder Woman that he just did in Sharpie.
And the good thing is, I got all these books. I got all of these. I didn't even go, and it's fantastic for me. I don't know why you're laughing, because that's what's happening.
Because I'll kill you. But it was, again, I'm not someone who complains about things, especially at Comic-Con. Shit happens, right? You can't control people's schedules. I got some amazing commissions done. I got cool signatures, met a lot of people, talked to a lot of people.
Variants.
Yeah, and I even, while we were online, we were talking to the lady who runs the DC booth, who we see at New York Comic Con every year. She was awesome. I was like, hey, I'll see you in New York. Like you'll see me. I do a podcast, so I'll be everywhere. And she's like, oh, awesome. Let me know. I'll come by. And
cool.
So I might go to her and be like, hey, anyone got 10 minutes for me to interview? You think you could hook me up?
Why not?
Why not? So networking. It's not all bad. We may not have the stuff to give you guys this time, but just know it's a work in progress. We do it was a lot. I also use this trip as also a mini vacation, right? I have friends that live up there. I didn't really get to see them because I was working so hard at this con. I saw my friend maybe Friday night, and that was it. And Sunday after the con was over, and that's it. I didn't even go out Saturday really. Friday night, not really either. Kind of just got dinner and came back and was like, hey, I got to go to bed because I got to be up early. Yeah. We take it really seriously. So, obviously, fun stuff. Signings, cool. You guys go to Comic-Con, definitely check it out, especially for commissions. Hannah did mine the same day. He was done on Friday.
Wow.
I was the first one on his list, and then my buddy Justin gave me money, and he was like, hey, if it's more, tell him if it's okay, we could settle it up when I come tomorrow. I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, hey, my buddy also wants. He's like, yeah, sure. He's like, we'll settle it up tomorrow. So I brought him in.
That's dope.
Went right to him. It was already done. Paid him. Got the book. So, and Hannah's list was still open on Sunday. So, I technically could have gotten more if I had more money. But, it's a great con to get commissions. It's a great con to meet people. The most packed day is Saturday, but it's still not as packed as a New York Comic Con. Yeah. Fun con. So yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Jersey Comic Crew. This is going to be our Boston 2019 review. Thank you so much for listening. We got some great books here. Definitely recommend this con. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I didn't make it this year, but hopefully next year.
Hopefully Rob comes next year.
Yes. Make sure you keep the conversation going on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are down below, or even in the comments down below. Let me know what of these books that you like that Chris got for me that was the best. Let us know what your favorite experience at Boston Comic Con if you went.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. JerseyComicCrew.podbean.com.
Thanks.
Ding.